Hello. I want to show you a little bit about two functions that you're going to be using in this module. One is the VLookup and the other is the HLookup. Okay, so V, I want you to think about vertical and H is horizontal. And so I've got this little graphic here with these arrows drawn to kind of show you what we're looking at. I do want you to use the function helper. I like to use the function helper because it gives you a simple way to know what goes in what order. And so basically what we have with a lookup function is a table set up somewhere. It could be on the same sheet. It could be hidden on another sheet. But as long as you know where it is, then you can create this document. So we are going to take information, look it up in a table, and bring back some coordinating information. Okay, so here, these are test grades. Lila's average. Lila has a 61. What we want to do is translate that into a letter grade. What is a 61? Is that an A, B, C, D, or F? What is a 70? What is a 95? 82, 72. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take that 61, that is our lookup value, and we're going to look it up in a table that's already established. And that table is our table array. We would want to use E4 through F10. A lot of times these tables are labeled like this is. It says grade table. I know it's hard to see. But you don't want to include that in your range for the table array. Okay, just ignore any headings that are there. All right, so then when we take that 61 and we look it up in this table, okay, we're looking it up in the first column. And where does that 61 fall? Well, that 61 falls between 60 and 70. Okay, so between 60 and 70 is the 61. So what it's going to do is it's going to drop back to the lower number, and then we're going to tell it to go look at whatever is in column 2. So that's the third part to the function. What column are you bringing back? Okay, and it's not column F, it's of that table. Which column is it? Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, or so on. Okay, so this is column 2. So let me show you an example of it actually working. Okay, so here's that same grade table. All right, we want to use our function helper. We are doing a VLookup. Okay, again, our data is set up in vertical columns. So that's why we're using the VLookup. We'll open it up. What value are we wanting to look up? The average of 61. What table do we want to look it up in? Okay, that's our table array right here. Okay, again, not including the heading. And then what column of that table do we need to pull back into our first data set? Okay, well, it is the second column. So I'm going to put a 2 in the function. And when we do that, then we can see that it's an F. So 60 to a 61 falls between 60 and 70, and so it'll drop back to the lower number, then go over to column 2, pull that information back into the formulas or the function cell. Okay. Of course, if we want to fill down, right, we get some bad data because our table is moving, right? It's moving, shifting down. Okay, and we know that should happen. And hopefully you know how to fix that. The quickest way is to use, well, let me get it here, F4, and let's see if it'll do it in the function. Nope. All right, let me add those dollar signs manually. Make sure you're adding it before the letter and the number. All right, and then that will hold that data fixed so that we can fill it down and the table remains the table. Okay, so let me ask you this question. What's another way that you can make that happen? Okay, hopefully you remember we've got our named ranges. So if we had gone in and we had named this range, grade table, and I'm going to actually put a V for vertical, okay, and we rewrite our function to not use a range, but use actually I could probably select it. Let's do that so I don't mess up on the spelling. Okay, grade table V for vertical. Okay, and then I could fill that down and you know that that table is going to stay. It's never going to adjust when you use a named range. Okay, so similar concept, let's get rid of that. And let's go down here to the horizontal. Okay, so now we're going to look for an HLookup. Okay, and again, the same process. Here's our lookup value. What table do we want to pull it from? Again, don't use the heading. We just want the comparative data. And what row do we want to pull that information back from? Row 2 of the group that we selected. Okay, so same thing there, same thing when filling down. Either use the F4. I don't know why. Let's see if it'll do it here. It's not liking. Oh, because I'm on the laptop and I'm not using the function key. Laptop thing. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. That was bad. F4, F4, or of course you can name the range. You could have named the range grade table H for horizontal and accomplish the same thing. Okay, so that is a lookup function, H for horizontal, V for vertical.